Before there was Fire Festival, before there was TanaCon, there was DashCon. You probably know DashCon as the epic Tumblr convention failure. And, you know, the con that spawned the DashCon ball pit meme, which I'm a great fan of. And yeah, it was my fault. So today, I'm going to tell you how it all came to be. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Lachlan O'Neill. I am a college student. I'm majoring in fashion design. I'm 21. I have a dog who's sitting right here. Oh, she's cute. And a couple years ago, I decided that it would be a good idea to start a Tumblr convention. Today, let me tell you guys how that happened. It all started in the summer of 2012. I was going through a bit of a rough patch at the time, and I really needed something to occupy my brain so I wasn't thinking about other things that I could have been thinking about. I saw a post on Tumblr, and it says something along the lines of, what if there was a Tumblr convention where we could all get together and hang out with our mutuals and, you know, have little badges that had our Tumblr URLs on them? And I said, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna make that happen. I would like to add to the fact I was 15 at the time. Now, if anybody has ever met a 15-year-old, they can't do anything. I was a dumbass, okay? Looking back on myself, I should not have ever been allowed near anything professional whatsoever. But also, being 15, I didn't really have that filter to stop myself from doing stupid stuff. So I said, yeah, I can do this. I can do anything. So I did. I started a Tumblr blog and I posted something along the lines of, this is the official Tumblr blog for TumblerCon, or no, it was TumbleCon, for TumbleCon USA. And instantly, it got hundreds of reblogs. I think it got like thousands of reblogs. I got thousands of followers that day. That was more attention than I've ever gotten, like, ever. And I think it really just fed my ego that was like, yeah, thousands of people think that this is a good idea. That means thousands of people are gonna come to a Tumblr convention and pay money. Cause you know, that's logic. That was 15-year-old logic. And I was getting people messaging me like, hey, I wanna help out. I really wanna make this happen. What can I do to help? So I put together a team of people. All these people were teenagers, like myself. Cause you know, what's worse than one teenager? Like a dozen teenagers. It was terrible. And I thought, okay, all of these people wanna help. This is gonna make it even more successful. And then I started thinking of all of these ideas. The first idea that I had, we were gonna have committees, and every fandom was gonna have a booth. It was gonna be like, I guess, I was thinking more of like a trade show kind of vibe, where each fandom had a booth with like little buttons to hand out and banners. It's cute, like, when I think about it. No. So we got all these committees together, and I'm gonna pull up the website, because I made a website back in 2012, and I recently just got access to it. It's a webs.com website. Let's sign in. All right, let me read a list, the official list of fandom committees. My Little Pony, Doctor Who, BBC, Sherlock, Supernatural, Marvel, Homestuck, Glee, Black Butler. So I said, okay, that's a great idea. We're gonna have committees, so I'm not gonna have to take on all this work. They're gonna take care of each of their fandoms. They're gonna run panels for their own fandoms. We're gonna have, I don't know, Instagram people. We're gonna get guests. Let me read you the list of guests that we wanted to get, because this is embarrassing. Sailor Moon Abridged, Jenna Marbles, Fred. Let's just take a moment. Fred. 2012, you guys. PC Songs 2 and DVS Cooper. So that was my first great idea. My second great idea. Here we go. The DashCon ball pit. Soak it in, you guys. DashCon ball pit. I saw a video on YouTube and it was like strangers get inside a giant ball pit and they make friends with each other. And I was like, oh, I want a giant ball pit. That's what a Tumblr convention needs, a giant ball pit. So as the years go on, years, months, I guess in the next year, people come, people go. Finally, adults come and they're like, we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna put money into this. We're gonna book a hotel. We're gonna make it happen. In my teenage brain, I'm like, yeah, my dream is coming true. I'm gonna be a real adult. I'm gonna be helpful. I'd like to add, at this point, I've only ever been to 2 conventions, and they were really tiny little anime conventions in South Carolina. That was the extent of my convention knowledge. But I was convinced that I could get this done. And with a team of adults, I could really get it done. God. So these people come in and I'm basically demoted from the queen of DashCon, I liked to call myself at the time, to the kind of person who runs around and does things for people. I was called an admin, which I guess was a step higher than a volunteer, but I was a volunteer. The only payment I ever got was I got a really expensive tiara from David's Bridal. I got $50. Oh yeah, a first class ticket to Chicago and a hotel. Yeah, that was nice. The hotel, there were TVs in the bathroom, which was weird. Flash forward to 2014. It's DashCon. It's happening. This is the first time that I've actually been there to see the hotel, flown out first class. I got a whole week in Chicago to just, I don't know, do professional things. And I would like to add that I actually ended up graduating high school 2 years early, partially because I got a lot of extra, work study credits from DashCon because it was counted as a work study. I graduated at 16. That was wild. I'm 17 at this point, and I'm at DashCon. This is before the convention. I'm at the hotel, and this hotel is huge, super fancy, very businessy. And then they gave me, and I have it right here, the proof of my importance. This magical Renaissance button. You just clip it on, it's magnetic, and anybody at the hotel who saw this button had to do basically anything that I wanted. That power really got to my head. I got a lot of free bread. I was like, just keep giving me bread. I ate so much bread that weekend. I wish I'd known that was the only food that I was gonna get. And basically everything was paid for, which was nice. But then it started to get really messy. Ooh, people started arguing. The 3 owners of the convention kind of formed off into little groups where 2, Megg and Cain, were on one side, and the other lovely lady, Rox, was on the other side. And it didn't go great. And that was probably the first sign that I should have, realized maybe things weren't as good as I thought that they were gonna be. So the day of the con, the day before the con, Thursday, we are setting up. One of the guys, one of the owners, Cain, just went nuts. He was just yelling at people to do things. I remember I left one of the rooms in tears. And I can't even remember why, but he was just screaming like crazy. And he also smelled really bad. And I'm not even sure that he was really British. And then they present Roxanne, the other owner, a contract that basically stated that she was going to be demoted to secretary. I don't even know what that means. While the other 2 were going to be president and vice president. Basically saying that they are going to take everything from the con and that they were going to be in charge, and they just kind of overthrew her. And there was nothing she could really do at the time, so she just did her best to make sure everything was going as planned. The next day, I was assigned to con ops. Again, I'd only ever been to a couple of cons at this point. I'd never worked a con. I'd never even had a real job besides DashCon, and that's not true. I worked in a marine biology lab. That was a real job. But I'd never worked in customer service. I had no idea how to deal with people. So I'm in this con ops and people are starting to come in. People are getting mad because their press badges are not saying the proper names. People are getting mad because they cannot find their panel room. They don't know where the line is, because I guess wherever the line was, it was so far away from con ops, and everybody was getting confused, and I just couldn't deal with it. And nobody would give me a break. I left con ops once to go to the restroom, and I came back and Cain was there and started screaming at me for leaving my post. There was nobody there. I was 17. I was a dumbass. What was I supposed to do? So I'm sitting there in tears, trying to give people badges and trying to answer all the questions that I can. And then I realize I'm kind of over my head. Maybe this was a bad idea. Then I'm relieved of my post and I have to go to the Homestuck panel. So I go up and put on all my Homestuck makeup. It's basically an in-character panel. It goes as well as you can imagine a Homestuck panel would go. Better, there are no buckets, which is great. And then I'm pulled to the side by one of the owners. And they said, "We have no money, so we're gonna pull everybody into the main ballroom where Tumblr prom is supposed to be, and we're gonna find money." And I just started sobbing, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I'm up there, I'm on stage, they give me a paper bag to take money. A brown paper bag. And people just start throwing money in there. And then after everybody is given all their money, we don't even count it up, but suddenly somebody's like, "Oh, we raised all the money, we're good to go." And then we're pulled aside and I have my paper bag full of money, which thinking back on it now, probably should have taken it and just ran, left, fled the country, gone to Canada or Mexico, just gotten the heck away from there. But that didn't happen. So I go to count up the money and there's about $3,000 in the bag, which is so much money. I've never handled that much money in my life. And apparently people have been maxing out their credit cards. Staff members, volunteer staff members, let me add, not the owners, the volunteer staff members have been maxing out their credit cards. I remember a security person just giving all of the money through their card. And that's how we raised the $17,000. And as far as I know, it all went to paying back the hotel. But also, I know that Megg and Cain are very, very shady characters. Okay, DashCon ball pit. So the whole thing with the ball pit is it was originally supposed to be huge, like as big as this room. I believe that VidCon actually had a huge ball pit this year. Hi, yes, VidCon. I would like my royalties for my lovely idea of the ball pit. No, yeah, it was supposed to be huge, as big as this room. You know, enough to fit like 10 people in it, 12 people, and it was a kiddie pool. I was not in charge at all of the ball pit. I believe that the ball pit company, the ones that said that they were gonna provide it, on the website had a totally different picture than what they gave us. I actually tried to buy the ball pit, but it was reserved for a little girl's birthday party. I could have owned a piece of meme history. So now I'm gonna answer some questions that I've been asked on Twitter in relation to my "The DashCon Ball Pit Was My Idea" tweet. Solid Ferret asked, "NightVale, what was the deal with that?" As far as I know, they were not paid up front like they were supposed to be. After the whole fiasco, they just weren't gonna take it anymore. Oh! Okay, so I forgot about this. The worst part, after the whole DashCon money thing, I was locked out of my hotel room. I was sobbing. I was getting death threats. I really needed to go to the bathroom. I had to pee so badly. I was locked out of my hotel room. So I had no money, no cards, and full Homestuck cosplay, exactly how I wanted to be murdered. You know, I was like, this is the best day of my life. This is great. So yeah, apparently a lot of the other staff members and guests got locked out of their hotel room. And so I believe that that was probably part of the problem with NightVale as well as not being paid up front. I think on top of that, they got locked out of their hotel room. I may be wrong, but that's what I think happened. And I do not blame them for leaving. I left early too. I wish I had left earlier. It was not great. Brinzy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Are the rumors true that somebody pissed in it? A lot of people have asked me this question. This has been a statement of great controversy. No, nobody pissed in the ball pit. I did, however, drop some Taco Bell nacho cheese in the ball pit during my lunch break that I decided that I was going to take. I wasn't given a lunch break, but I took one anyways. I rebelled. Yeah, so nobody pissed in it, just some nacho cheese. It was weird though. Clockwork Night asked, what did you expect the outcome of DashCon to be? And leading up to the con, what did you expect would happen? I genuinely thought that thousands of people were gonna be there. I thought that we were going to be rolling in money and people and fun, and it was gonna be great, and there was gonna be cocaine and strippers, not the last part. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be great. And Dawn asked, how early did you realize DashCon was going to be, well, DashCon? I guess it really depends on what you mean by that. The first time that I realized that something was wrong was when all of the arguments between Megg and Cain and then Rox were taking place. That just really freaked me out. Things started really going wrong in my brain. Hi. When probably I was getting yelled at. Then I got locked in con ops and was just sobbing. That was great. But it didn't really hit me until I was in the ballroom with a paper bag and Homestuck cosplay, asking people for money, that we needed $17,000. That is when it really hit me. Yeah. I never would have imagined that it would have gone that way. I thought that it was just gonna be immensely popular and wonderful, and you know, I was seeing the world through rose-colored glasses, and I was totally wrong. Paco 3000 asked, how big of a role did you play in organizing DashCon? So, like I said, the original idea, up until the official owners took over, was all mine. I had some help, I had some volunteer help, but everything was pretty much mine. After Roxanne and Megg, so it was first Roxanne and Megg, and after they came in, my role was demoted basically to answering questions via Tumblr and email. And social media. So I did social media too. And then at the actual con, I was stuck in con ops. And again, it was really just me answering questions anybody had, directing people, and just doing my best, which apparently wasn't good enough. Oh, and I was the official bag holder, the money bag. The money bag. Hotel Phone asked, how anyone thought for a nanosecond that Tumblr could organize something good. I was 15. Tumblr was the best thing that had ever happened to me. I met my best friend on Tumblr. She's still my best friend to this day. She's wonderful. I love her. I roped her into being on one of the committees. I think she did K-pop. And Lav, I apologize for that. I was a bad friend. Bad friend. Yeah, I really thought that Tumblr was gonna be good, that it was good. It didn't have kind of the same, I'm trying to think of like a nice word to say this, just awfulness as it does now. There weren't like people going at each other's throats 24/7, or if there were, I was far away from that. I thought it was just, you know, fun, fandom-y goodness. Yeah. Decayed Pencil. Why do you think it failed? I think there are a couple of reasons that all come together on why it failed. Part of the reason is that all the convention organizers had absolutely no convention running experience. So that's probably one of the reasons. 2, it really wasn't that great of an idea. No. Just because teenagers on Tumblr say that it's a great idea, doesn't mean that it's a great idea. 3rd, there was a lot of internal conflict. There was a lot of overspending. People didn't know how to manage money. It was just a mess. A mess. And then Megg and Cain were just messy people. Rocker King 87 wants to know, if you could fix any of the problems that happened, what would they be? If I could fix any problems, I would never have it happen. But really, besides canceling it, I don't think there's any way that you could have fixed it. I don't. Maybe delayed the con until, you know, we actually had money built up, because it takes a lot of money to run cons. I'm friends with some convention organizers right now, and most of the time they're struggling just to break even. There's no money to be made in cons, and I think that a problem that a lot of the people had was like, oh, you know, we're gonna make money. All of these, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of people that are following us on Tumblr are gonna come. That's gonna happen. Umbridge asks, whatever happened to Megg and Cain? So there's a great Tumblr post about this, and I will link it somewhere. Megg and Cain. Megg stole Cain's girlfriend, and I don't know if they're still dating, but I think she has a real job now. Not a good one. She's like 35, 36 now. She has not accomplished anything. Cain, he robbed a Walmart and he got banned from Walmarts in the area. So that's what happened. And he doesn't have a girlfriend either. Well, he might now, but not the same girlfriend that he had that got stolen by Megg. He also was telling people that he went to an Ivy League school when he went to Ringling. So there's no such thing as an Ivy League art school. Lil Purple Kitty asked, how often do you think about it? So I think about it every time somebody mentions on Tumblr, which I am still on Tumblr, not as much anymore. Anytime I see a meme that's like, oh, DashCon ball pit, or this horrible disaster is the next DashCon, I'm like, oh. Deep breaths. I talk about this in therapy. I go to my therapist's office and I'm like, she's like, do you have any regrets? DashCon. Yeah, I think about it a good bit. Ash Rambling says, no one believes I was actually there. The question I have, and not in a mean way, is where did all the money you raised in one night go? As far as I know, it all went to paying back the hotel. Oh, everybody's asked this question. And I'm putting it out there once and for all. I'm pulling up receipts. I'm going all in. Give me a second. Everybody's asking me about this. Where's the DashCon DVD? Does it really exist? And one of the mods, admins, owners, told me, nope, the DVD doesn't exist. You've heard it from the source and another source. The DVD does not exist. I do remember there, supposedly supposed to be a videographer, but I don't ever remember anything being filmed at all. That was so far. I had nothing to do with the money. Yeah, DVD doesn't exist. I'm sorry, guys. After I saw Internet Historian's video about DashCon and about there being a bounty out for the DVD, I set out on my own search because I'm very poor and I have a lot of medical bills. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna find it, and it didn't exist. So I didn't get my bounty. That's all I really have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. You can also leave your, comments and hate mail in the comments below. Yeah, so thanks again. Bye. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But also, you're welcome for a great meme.